it go, yeah. Let it go. Yeah, me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Yeah, me let it go. Go, 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 go. Go, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give your heart to Jesus. Let him take control. Just sit and worship. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married to another man. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I've said let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if you say you will continue to be a zogo, if you say you will continue to be a prostitute, if you say you will continue to be a beggar.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Liberia Public Radio, and I'm ALPHONSO of the Liberia Public Radio. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners right here this evening. This is your informative news magazine, Freedom Watch. Welcome to the show. It's good to be here. Today is Sunday.
Us will change your story. Let it go. 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 Lord, help me, let it help me.
And today's the second. I want to do this as a special treat for a friend and brother who are in Charlottesville via yesterday for the homegoing of a brother, wife, Miss Elena Gate, and we say let us go. So says the songwriter.
Yeah. Money blow. Holla. Nobody do it like you do it. You a true God. Yes.
Welcome to the show. This is ALPHONSO ZEAN. And very shortly, the team of analysts, contributors of the Liberia Public Radio, were somewhere here this evening for another talking point here. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for being here.
The God of Abraham, I said Jacob, the God of mighty blow. But there is power in your blood, and what I'm giving praises. Yes. I got a dance that David dance, they think I'm getting crazy. But love is how you make it, brother, may not be hasty. Every time I sin, I'm on my knees, begging God for mercy. Thank you for your love, blessing, and forgiveness. You solved my problem, Lord, you took me from the wilderness. Now only you can feel my struggle when I'm really stressed. So my papa bless me, then my enemy, they get invest. No matter what the problem is, man, just let it go. Your delay is not your denial, everybody know. Just keep on trusting in Jehovah, he will give you more. He took me from the grass, he can take you from the rock and roll. Yeah.
Go, let it go. Lord, help me, let it go. Your people are suffering, lying in the hospital.
Oh, man. What a beautiful song there by Minister Jemima Walcott of Liberia, fading away right here on the Diaspora Informative News Magazine. Let it go.
Let it go. The barrenness.
By the way, we have been given an exclusive right to get this song rolling in an hour to right here. It's on the Diaspora Informative News outlet, Liberia Public Radio.
Spirit of denial, spirit of depression.
Oh man, the spirit of divided, depression, hypocrisy, sycophants, corruption. We got to let it go to inside Liberia. And of course, when they take your chamo, you know what it means when Liberians say chamo, that one that nobody can easily let it go. They're going to punch you in your mouth and get your teeth out. Please don't do that. Let it go.
Let it go. Your husband say you're not man.
We want want to welcome our viewers and listeners. Johnson, to David White is in the house, and our own prompt time to follow what Mr. Joseph Bandy is in the house. Frederick, good evening, good morning, and welcome.
Take care of your wife and make your children homeless.
Call it, man. You know I'm going to call your name, not to mention James Goodwell. Good evening, and our own man, Galwin Achi Z Todd is our valuable listener. Good evening and welcome.
Papa, let it go. It is painful, let it go. You borrow someone your money. Oh, mama.
And some of them want to take your money, they don't pay. But I'm excited overall in the new brand week informative news magazine, like the Liberian War Today will be airing inside Liberia with Liberia diaspora informative news giants, Car FM and TV. Our voices will be hovering across the nation. And I'm ALPHONSO ZEAN. So our special guest in that edition is Ambassador Louise Brown.
Jesus will make you useful. So let I go. For how long will you hold? How long?
So let me ask you a question. How long will you hold? How long will you just stay away instead of having a problem solved? Please. Let's do that. Let me see here if I can get the right one here. If not, I will just go right back to our saying or traditions. I'm ALPHONSO ZEAN of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. What a beautiful Sunday evening here. But yesterday was a very solemn and painful one. The songwriter urged us for us to let it go, but it's difficult. I was in VA, Virginia, to Charlottesville, specifically yesterday. Our friend that brought someone that are close to me, work with me on a community-based level as a coordinator of our sectional organization, Basin District Association, with PAS, and we're all dead yesterday. It was a painful one. They came from a long journey from the wilderness, from nowhere to somewhere, from refugee camp to this great nation, to where you can do, where anything is possible to change your life story. And at the time they have just settled and get everything going, and the unquestionable man, he's the Lord, he controls everything. We just don't know to when we're going to come to an end of this troublesome world. I guess there should be some sort of switch out there that when he's just turned it off, and that's just about it. So Helena was laid to rest yesterday. Our prayers and thought goes out to Harrogate, the children, and the bereaved family. I saw tears coming from in a man's eyes yesterday. Yeah, because a lot was still ongoing through his head. But we pray that he's going to do well and I overcome it. It's not going to be a one-day event. It's not something that he's going to forget about. It's not just ordinary relative, your wife. Imagine husband bearing wife bearing husband. Think of all of the good and bad. You know, you come home, you get your food prepared, sleep in the same bed, conversation, all of that, and all of a sudden, that just cut off. It would be like coming to what's your own house. You're going to feel bad, feel miserable for yourself. But we all have to pray for him, and all of us gone through that, and eventually, with the strength of God, he will triumph, and we just need to give him all of the support. Okay, welcome. I'm ALPHONSO ZEAN of the Liberia Public Radio, LPR-TV. Friday, I was in the air, and then I saw the Liberal was just all over the place as usual, and tried to bully Amos George, the ANC analyst, and the Tier 1 Gonglo guy on the other end. Like, oh, I wish they could allow me while in the air to jump in that plane. Oh my goodness. I'm just kidding. Okay, welcome. He's here. He's guy. He's a good guy. But let me just bring him in here. A lot is unfolding here. Tonight's conversation is quite amazing. So let me just bring in the Liberal here. He's a very the most powerful board member. The Liberal Progressive, I was just telling the people the hard work, some of the good things that you are doing here. And Amos Joy, on the other hand, always try to put finger in your throat. But I told you, I warned you about Amos Joy. People from Atlanta, Georgia, you know the story of Donald Trump. This is where he was asking for specific number in order to be in the White House. But you don't listen. You kept being friendly with Amos George. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. So, and whatever it is that LPR is asking the board to do is already done.
Okay. Oh, by the way, let me ask you, you went to Miami?
Miami, we do have Miami in Liberia, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Have you visited Miami, Liberia?
When I go home, I will visit. Miami in Liberia is Toll Town.
Oh, your Miami in Liberia is Toll Town.
Liberia, Miami is Toll Town.
So
that's what the president was making reference to.
So who was telling the truth here?
Huh?
So who is saying what here?
The president was just saying he misspoke. He meant to say Toll Town.
Okay. So this is going to bring us to the topic. Is the GOL, that's the government of Liberia, internet editions of Freedom Wire, is the GOL unable to control the narrative? Because they are in the driving seat. The information to gap, the information to reservoir should be in the house of the government. Are they unable to control the narrative? And if so, how can they change this topic here? Since the arrival, I thought the media soundbite of GOL supporter could be pounding the president's visit from the UN and grab some of the good pieces and parcels out of there and put them into context and make them that of a news. But there's rice in town, rice not in town, that's street tour, and then all of a sudden to Miami surface again. This is just insane. Can they control the narrative?
Mr. So, I'm not too sure if you guys been following me since I've been saying this thing here from time to time. And that is the government of the Republic of Liberia, CDC, they do one thing good, you praise them, and they put their foot in your mouth easily, quickly. While you're there saying, oh, thank this government, the government, before you look, say, oh, but by the way, this is what the government's saying. This is what they're very good at. And the only reason they're very good at these kinds of behavior is that because they're stuck into the campaign more. They can never get out of it. And so when they do something that is good, they say, look what we have done. They start praising themselves. And before you look in the process of praising themselves, something else will happen. You think the president coming here in the state and having a huge impact, as far as I'm concerned, with his wonderful speech at the UN. You think that would have been something that perhaps they will be able to talk about and stay with it. The rights issue in Liberia is not strange to Dr. Weir. I believe he's very quite aware of it. You would think when that thing came out that he would make a statement to say, when I get by or I'm here now, I will look into it and see what exactly we need to do. If there's any kinds of issue, the government is here. You guys elected this government and believe this government and trust this government. And so we will do what we can to make sure our people don't go hungry. What did he say? It's a street talk, just like a liquor talk.
Okay, let me hold you right there. Like, what? Just like a what?
Liquor talk. You don't
need to remind me.
Okay, well,
you're trying to make politics out of this because it falls in the lap of the opposition, and that's also a talking point you want.
And that's another useful group. That's another unuseful, inept group that are unable to even control whatever it is. They kinds of mistake right on your lap. What have they talked about lately?
You are getting to be more than controversial on this network. One day,
I am.
The other side of the wall. Another day, on the other side of the wall. Where do you stand? What is your position?
I don't have a position. I'm in position, Mr. So.
No.
So,
You've been very disingenuous.
well, Mr. So, I have the right to say what I want to say because I am my own man.
You have the right to say, but you are becoming more unstable. Those are your own words.
Mr. So, the word unstable. Yes, that's your opinion. That's fine with me. It really doesn't matter. But here's my point here. Here's my point, Mr. So. The president, that statement, street talk, you know, just for some reason, Mr. So, let me compare this here.
Can I be a little bit fair here? You were carrying a warrior. I hate to interrupt, even though I will be doing it. I am in.
Well, you're very good at that. That's who you are. You interrupt me, and sometimes pack me in the garage, and sometimes you put me in the bike, and sometimes you mute me.
With the parking of garage, it didn't generate. It started from your. You know what? Don't make me to go there. But let's say it here. Let's create an open tie conversation here a little bit here. Was it a slip of tongue? Was it something that actually the president meant to say? Or people did not kind of like debrief the president? The rest issue is political. It surrounds all of our daily activities. And we know the history of rest issue. Okay, he was out of the country. I guess, and I know in the past, people should be there to debrief the president of happenings in the country. So even if he's at the United Nations, when confronted by international journalists, he should have a first-hand say in that. But to just get in the country and people generally asking such a consequential and real-lifetime questions or situation that people have been experiencing, and he just came to that bomb. Street talk.
First thing, Mr. So, he was upset. He was. Let me put it in the Liberian way. He was vexed. I just coming from. For me, the way he expressed it, it's like I just coming from representing in UN. I did all that good things. Say all the good things we do. That you're coming to bother me with rice business here again.
The story of the news is about to get interesting. Let me bring in from Atlanta, Georgia, the man from the far right, the guys who were soliciting more numbers to get to the finish.
Mr. So, I am not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of the central right. I am here as a counterweight, and I'm here to make sure both of you do not say something here that is unacceptable, and I will say that. But let me just say, you far right, he's center right, and I just want. There's no kumbaya here tonight. We're not here for friendship. I'm not here to make friends with both of you. I'm here on my own tonight. But let me make this point. Mr. So. When the president said that, he was angry, and guess what, Mr. So? And this is very sad. It seemed like all of these Liberian politicians, they get angry very easily. Our own senator here demonstrated that here 2-3 days ago. Our own senator, Honorable Zoe Peno, came here, and at a gathering, he made some statement, which I thought he was very angry. And this is when you are in public domain, when you are in public service, when you are in public eyes, your tone, the way you carry yourself, things you say, they're very important. They're very important because you're not only here, you're not only there for yourself. Why stop the president from turning this rice issue into something that will generate sympathies for his government by saying, I just got back, my government was overseas, we were taking care of other governmental issues, we just got back. But I understand people are saying about this right issue, your government is back, we will look into it and make sure that my people will not go hungry. I can assure you that my people will not go hungry because we will do all we can as brothers and sisters in this country that our people don't go hungry. And that would have been done. But what did he say? So street talk. In Liberia, people are hungry. People are hungry. By the way, Mr. President, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. People are hungry. And you're going to say the street talk? Because, once again, people keep telling him, oh, you're doing good. You're doing good. Mr. President, you got the same thing we used to hear from Doe. Oh, nothing here. Oh man, everything fine. The people don't like you. The people they don't know anything. That's the same thing here. If this man have gotten some sort of a serious conversation, Mr. President, the rice issue is very serious. The rice issue is very serious. Before they even got out of the plane, if you were brief, not briefing him as blaming the opposition or blaming people to say, oh, they just want to degrade you. All that good way you did in the UN, the people just want to spoil that thing here. So the Liberian people not see the way he did. And when you say all kind of thing, the man got angry. So the first question about the rights issue, he went off.
So was that a missed opportunity? Probably.
Of course.
The president would have expanded on that.
Yes.
Get humanity into a level of sensitivity and empathize with the people. Let me begin the far right. Okay, you're doing yes because you are guys at the opposition. So definitely the
opposition are useless right now. Oh, they have these kinds of stuff. We're talking politics now. And I'm mixing it up here this evening because I'm very good at that. And we're talking politics now. The president make a boo-boo out of this hunger that is hurting our people. The president was not able to respond effectively. You would think the opposition that would take the opportunity to say this is some of the things that we're talking about. These are things that we're talking about. But I'm not blaming this president because hunger is something that is going to be affecting our people. I'm not here as an opposition to play politics with people hungry business.
Right.
But let's watch
hold on. Let me hold you right there. I know your strategy. I know where you're heading with this whole thing here. You started up here for whatever reason. Every time we comes here, you want to get into a fight as if I don't know what's really going on. We not like you. We always
Mr. So because I don't want you and Mr. Joyce myself to be friends here.
All right, we are not friends anyway. So
I'm a liberal. There's no way I'll be friends with anybody who is a conservative. So let's just get that straight. We're here to talk Liberian people business, and let's be fair with each other and talk that. There's no kumbaya here. There's no friendship here, Mr. So.
All right, I don't know what it's got. Pa Josh, good evening.
Yes, sir, Mr. So and Mr. To, how you doing?
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Trying to get his pressure over the roof here this evening. It's for no reason. He's just so okay. Amos George, we're going to be having a lot of issue here. My question here tonight is GOL unable to control the narrative? Because the president attended a major world conference. That's something, no matter the outcome of the speech, as compared to previous speeches, he was presidential, his dress code, even though there was a little bit hinge here and there, the diplomatic arrangement with the people. Okay, those things happen sometimes, probably due to the last minute unwarranted, what I don't see a good move by GOL to make such a changes. You know, somebody who is not used to the system, though all of those things can create those sort of gap here. But what I'm concerned with here is GOL unable to change the narrative. We saw what happened when the president arrived. All of the sudden, it's not been settled. We start hearing about this whole Miami and all of that, all those sort of things. What's going on? The folks around the president, the communication team, advisors, and all of that. I am wondering now, I am a little bit concerned as to whether they have some really authentic and genuine conversations, because the president going to be, he will always be disposed to the media or, unexpected. I'm not sure whether they are having those sort of prop operation processes with the president so that when he's confronted, not just only the Liberian media, because when these things get into the international media cable, believe me, it's going to be a lot. Are they doing just to the president here as well?
Let me say this first. Let me debunk something that Deborah said. The first place here, I don't know what you call the UN speech was. The UN was for. I don't know what the definition of your sources. Because there were a whole lot of blunder made there. I don't know what you mean by sources. Somebody that he said was
somebody, you always
hold on. Somebody that he said it was fallacy. No truth in it. The number could not add up. Okay, so let's just leave that one. If you're still successful, I want you to take a look at Malawi. From that meeting, the silent meeting they had, Malawi got $350 million. Right there. The Secretary of State was there. Zambia got $750 million just from silent meeting. That's what you call success. 5 years now, President, we have come and go hand swinging. But let me leave that one. So here's the issue here. Don't blame the people. Who are you blaming? George, we cannot run the government.
What do you mean? What's the meaning of that?
The Commerce Minister was with George. We are on a visit to the U.S. Did he ask the Commerce Minister what's happening? The Finance Minister came with him. Did he ask those two people what happened? The Commerce Minister would have called, if anything she needed, she would have called her principal deputy and say, hey, update me. I'm here with the president. Nothing. What do you want the Liberian people to do? These people don't know how to run anything. It's like free time ball. Mr. To, no free time ball. You just go, Mama, come. Yeah, they just say, yeah. Mama, you tell the other wing that, hey, this is what they're doing. The Minister of Commerce knows all the importers of rice in Liberia. Know how many bags of rice each importer brings in each month, or if what I quarterly, what else she knows. They know how many rice is consumed by month, week in Liberia. So you should know the quantity of rice you have in stock. Whether it will last you 6 months, it will last you 9 months, you should be able to determine. And if you see that statistic, your number that you can call the importer, hey, you, what's happening? I have not seen your PO, the pro forma invoice for the new consignment when you bring in rice in because this work cannot carry this time. So are you telling me the Minister of Commerce is not capable of doing those things? Then that's what I said. The people cannot run the country. That one ain't says, oh, yeah, you're going to help me. Ain't no quadratic equation. Ain't no linear equation. That just subtract.
This is the first time, honestly, this is my first time seeing you be more explosive here this evening.
So the whole thing here is a sham. How can you give a message when the facts are not there? When the last year when artificial shelter was created, the president ran straight to Freeport, led a raid of government officials to show them rice was stockpiled in the warehouses. Today, say he came going to be a week. Zero.
He said you were going to follow. Okay, let me hold you right there because the Liberal already start baby crying here because as you continue to, give your side here, a facial expressions tells me that there's some sort of disagreement here. The Liberal.
Mr. So, and that's why I said right here on this platform, there's no friendship with you, with the center right and myself, because you two the position you guys are taking is ridiculous. Now we have another thing from Mr. George this evening, the center right, money quarterback. And that's what we're talking about, a Republic of Liberia. These people are Dr. Weah and his people are not running a banana republic because they're not because you have not seen the papers out there. You think they don't have stocks? You think these people don't know what is happening? Mr. So, let us don't do this to ourselves. These are people that are educated. These are people that have been in office for 5 years. I don't agree with them on many things, but I cannot sit here and let Mr. George, to say that these people, especially the president, is unable to govern. That is unfair and that is unacceptable from my side. Mr. So, why I do with I do agree with the center right, but don't misconstrue that as being a friendship and hand extending out for the friendship. Far from it. I'm a liberal. I'm not friendly with any kind of conservative people, and I just want to say this here. So there's no friendship business coming here. I just want to be truthful, Mr. So. The president and his people continue to drop the ball. And dropping the ball does not equate to unable to govern. Far from it. Far from it. Now, the president, let me make this point again. Mr. So.
No, go ahead. I'm trying to monitor something here. Go ahead. Don't be, come on, go ahead.
I know you. I know you in the center right. You're extinction text so you can muddy my that's why you play the music when you know I'm still talking. So I know you too. I know that.
Can be a little bit.
I'm not here tonight. I'm not here for friendship. I'm not here for friendship. Let me just say this here. Let me just say this. Continue my train of thought. And so this president, I'm saying again, I don't agree with the statement from Mr. George that this president can't govern. Far from it. Now, the government in less than 2 years will be going back to the people to ask them for re-election. Let the people decide. Now, the opposition, who having to be the sympathizer, the centralizer, sympathizer of the opposition. And I'm saying the opposition, including Honorable Cummings, right now, they're missing action. They're missing action. They want to wait. Here's the thing here with this opposition that I'm also part of, because I criticize the government a lot. This is one of the things that I noticed about us, and let me put myself in it. We want to wait until we get power. Liberians are dying now. What is this? What are some of the solution coming from the opposition? You know what I think, and that's deadly, that's bad, and that's wicked.
I think I'm gonna come. Let me hit you up here a little bit here, because you kind of like.
No, Mister. Let me make my. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm gonna deal with both of you here tonight, and I'm not taking no prisoner. Let me just say this. This is what I said. The opposition are wicked when it comes to the rights issue. Where are some of the things that they're putting on the table to say these are some solution if the government will listen to us? Where are some of the solutions? Nothing. We got nothing from them. But they call themselves opposition. Dr. Baka, who is my candidate and the next president of the Republic of Liberia, he went on some kind of a speaking engagement and then ridiculously say this is the most worst government in his lifetime. This is a man who served for 12 years, and the government, the Republic of Government, the leader of the Republic, packed you in a garage. Pack you, Dr. Baka, in a garage for 12 years. And you're going to say this government is the worst government of all time? Then you are not serious, Dr. Baka. I still love you. You're going to be the next president of the Republic of Life. But I just want you to come out and be truthful sometimes. When it comes to these, talk to the people. Don't come out and make these ridiculous statements when the government you serve for 12 years put you in a garage. The leadership put you in a garage. They don't want you to say anything because they know you're very smart. And you're going to say, this government is worse than that? Then where are you coming from, Mr. So?
So I'm kind of a little bit confused. It looks like sometimes you can be so forgetful. You have said on this network repeatedly, when I raise these issues that you just ponder on, your argument has been the opposition is not, they don't have the authority. They are not in government. They are not the one to be doing X, Y, Z. To come here to turn 360 degrees and kind of shove it in your throat, that's amazing.
No, it's not. I'm the liberal. I evolve. I'm not static. I'm not standing in one position. I'm a liberal. I look at things from a broad perspective. And at this time, when my people lives it's on the line, I don't care who you are. I will bring you in because you're not offering no solution. I need solution. I don't want you to give me no speeches and things like that. I need solution. What are you coming from?
What solution you want?
Or whatever. I want Mr. Central Right, the liberal is speaking. And I'm not here for friendship tonight. I just want both of you. So the point here, what are the solution? Are coming from total or not total? I want solution.
Okay.
I don't want no speeches.
Okay, Mr. George, carry on with your question.
Mr. So, let me tell you, man, today, this is one of the worst nights I ever seen something ridiculous like this.
Oh boy. My hand inside that one, yo. I have nothing to do with it.
Samson told they will not make time to your total because you will bind the people down.
Oh boy. Man, the gloves are off. You wake up.
This rest issue is the creation of the government. It's not natural disaster. This is the making. They took all the resources.
Yeah, coming. It's the creations of the government. Are you saying Is the GOL deliberately gaming with this rice issue?
They're not getting the losing, but they created their own
It's
problem.
playing the kind of game. That's what I mean. Are they gaming with it? Is it their own creation? They know what is happening?
No, listen now. When I mean their own creation, Mr. So, yes, it. These people promise the importers they're going to subsidize the rice. If they're not giving the subsidies, who's responsible? Not the importers. You say you're going to supplement something. You reach an agreement and say, okay, you people are not paying people 3-4 years. You own every year. They decide to play hardball with you. Why do you think the GOL cannot come out to speak on this issue? They cannot speak on this issue. Because it's their own creation that I have caught up with them. And I'm glad that they didn't say that it is not coming again. That we went to other rest and put another other rest. This sport is their own creation. My left daughter who in the 10th grade can do the mathematics to order that rest. These people are in depth. These people don't know how to run anything. Something told jumping opposition. Is the opposition that control the price? They didn't say no shit coming. The people want the money. They're not opposition control the price. You want for Alexander coming to go auto rest? You want for Joseph Burger to go auto rest to supply Liberia? That's not a job. That's not a job. And you build you. Yes, therefore you say, oh, the monopoly, no politics. So why? Why are you calling them today now? It's at the doorstep of people who are incompetent and they have no empathy for the people to rule. No empathy for the people to rule. Let the GOL help. I don't know, you all listen to the representative from Nima County who said he went in the warehouse. Echo is the one he could hear. Echo in the warehouse or warehouses. Echo.
The president did promise that he were gonna go to
Mr. So he cannot go there because the rest is not there. The last time ain't ran there when the rest were there. When I had a figure shot, they were in Monrovia, ain't ran there to do photo ops, showing warehouses, all the cabinet ministers behind him, like honey beans. He been down 1 week. Why he can't go to the port? No war fighting, no gun shooting. Why he can't go there? Why the minister of commerce cannot go there? These people, they are incapable.
Let me ask here, because I've kind of been a little bit crowded with a lot of things here too for the last few days here. Your guy is noted of running before the microphone, before the camera to showcase, to exhibit some sort of potential leadership in. I think you have throw a lot of bombs in there. I will give the Liberal the chance because it looks like he's trying to figure out how to come and debunk here. But your guy, Cummings, is also noted of facing the camera, usually on this high profile here. What is the strategy? Has he done that?
I have not spoken to anyone, but this is the strategy. The rest issue is a very tender issue. Any opposition that jump there now, they will say, you don't like the government. So you sit back, let the government handle their own messages. Don't say anything.
Okay, yeah, then what's about, you opposition are going to be coming to you. The Liberal is also part of this conversation. All these gibberish and stuff he was just throwing out here. I think he will equal here tonight. Definitely, because you've been more concrete, and I think he's trying to figure out as to how he's going to respond to you here. But here is the issue here. The opposition, usually, if not even the standard bearer. The standard bearer, he's just one person. They should have their team and people around their surrogates to be doing all of the things. Where is the economic advisor? Where are some of the advisors that could be speaking to media? Look, if it were Kumi, if it were Boyka, if it were this person, this could be the strategy just to show, just to exhibit some sort of a leadership and their readiness, if elected as the next state holders, to run the affairs of the country, that they will on day one address this issue here. But we do not see some key players. There's also raising an eyebrow potentially that if they even become successful, there will be another hold on or stay on to positions.
No, it should not raise no eyebrow. I told you from the beginning. People will speak on the issue later on. But right now, if any opposition tend to go after the government, they will turn out, they say the opposition is the one that don't want to see peace in Liberia. So the best thing any opposition can do now, do not make any statement towards the rest issue now. On their rest can come in the country, then you address it. Because right now, the CDC is drowning. They're looking for something to hang their hand on. Any opposition can say this about incompetent, this and that. They will say, oh, you see, instead they're coming to rally around us, they criticize us. But the main fact here is no opposition need to talk to the people. So this is not any kind of big issue. Simple thing like this. They post that and they owe the people. And they cannot pay media with a financial obligation. Instead, they're coming up to talk to the Liberian people directly, the Minister of Commerce, maybe the President, to weigh in. Nobody, you cannot hear from anybody. And you're telling me, and Mr. Tour is telling me today, this is the government. The government on a critical
This is
issue.
the government. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back,
Yeah, Mr. So, is that how you're gonna run your show? Is that how you're gonna run that show tonight? You heard the man talk me to the clinic, and then you telling me you want to wait until you go to commercial. Go to commercial.
Commercial.
Commercial. Okay.
Calm
All
down.
right.
We are running the institution. We are running the network. There are people who pay, and we are responsible to get it.
Okay. All right.
Do not go on unnecessary tantrum here this evening. Please.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
The Liberian Public Radio, in collaboration with Sky Radio and TV, presents The Liberian World Today, program that connects the diaspora to the Liberian nation. The Liberian World Today is airing Sunday, 12 midday Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT. The Liberian World Today brings journalism practical level in challenging authors, policymakers, educators, researchers, academics, politicians, and ordinary people to discuss Liberia. Join our host, ALPHONSO ZEAN every Sunday at 12 midday Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT. It promises to be superb, fascinating, exciting, and engaging. That's the Liberian World Today on LPR and Sky Radio and TV this Sunday at 12 midday Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT. The Liberian Public Radio, in collaboration with Sky Radio and TV, presents The Liberian World Today, a 60-minute program that connects the Liberian diaspora to the Liberian nation. The Liberian World Today begins airing every Sunday at 12 midday Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT. From politics to economics, health to education, the Liberian World Today brings on top guests with different perspectives and potential solutions as they discuss Liberia. Join our host, ALPHONSO ZEAN every Sunday at 12 midday Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT.
Okay, verse, I'm so excited. Folks, join us this Sunday, the first edition of the Liberian World Today. Will hovers on the nation's capitals and the surroundings in the big, I won't say collaboration, because Liberian people collaboration, it doesn't work. News content sharing with Sky Communications Network, FM, and that of TV. And the first guest is former Ambassador Louis Gossett Brown, is the former Minister of Information, Republic of Liberia. After 5 years of his support to the CDC-led government, is making a political switch, going to ANC. What is the war endorsement in Liberia? What is the evidence and why it's going to produce? What are some of the conversations that were held off camera? We're going to put fingers in the esophagus of Ambassador Brown, and we're going to bring that here. Okay, the liberal, somebody is already alarming here. You need to stop crying. Crying on this network is not, that's not me. This is, I don't know, Mr. Jackson. Samson told. Samson told. The total crier, the town crier. Oh my God. You're going to have the town crier for total. You're already in a big time trouble here. Okay. Let me get
So,
let me come
like I said from the beginning,
Mhm.
I'm not surprised at these things. You heard you allow the central right, because he's in line with your thinking, to go on and to the entire world that I will not be Paramount Chief of Town. This is a position that I've been dreaming of from day one, from the time I was little. And he's coming here to say that I'm not going to be Paramount Chief of Town. What I have to tell him first is, because he's also from Bison, he knows Bison very well. I will not want to be Paramount Chief of Town, but I'll be Paramount Chief of the whole Bison district.
Jawdi will be Jawdi will not be there.
Oh, because you're from Jaudi. Okay. Then let's go. Look, but on a very serious note, Mr. So, this is Mr. Joy's statement. Like I said, I love you. I love you, conservatives. The way you guys think, because you're so conservative, your mind track is just one way. Why, on the other hand, the liberals, those many of us, the liberal like myself, we think from a broad perspective. And as a result of that, you cannot catch us in sitting down on one thing. Mr. So, isn't this very sad? And let me just make the one thing clear, and clear enough to everybody to understand. I am not here representing this government. I'm not here representing the president. I'm not even speaking for them. They don't know me. I don't know many of these people. But I am here to say what is true, I believe. Now, Mr. So, you heard the central right. His thing is CDC and this government, they're drowning. Let them drown. Because if any of the opposition says something right now, they're going to say, oh, look what, because they're looking for a way to rescue themselves. Are you kidding me, Mr. George? The central right for LPR, the most respected analyst here in the entire population of the internet service. Are you kidding me here tonight? You're going to say here that the government, our people are suffering, looking for food to eat. Yet you and the communist group have a solution, but you're going to sit on that because you want this government to suffer. Who are we? Who are we? Mr. Central Right, when you spoke anything, I was quiet. I didn't come up with any. Folks, this is what to do. Those of you that are watching,
go ahead, Mr. Toll.
Mr. So, you also interrupted me. Just listen, folks. This is what I've always cried about. Mr. Jackson, this is the reason of me crying. When the central right was speaking, I had my timer. He spoke for almost 6 minutes. You didn't hear no comment from Mr. So.
Carry on, please.
Mr. So, will you please let me lay the groundwork first? I want the audience to understand that. So now here we are. But anyway, let me lay that aside. That's just a sidebar. But the main thing here for the central right, who is also supporter, Kumi and ANC supporter, to say there is issue in Liberia. People will die, or people might die. But the ANC has a solution, but they're not going to bring out a solution because they want the government to drown in its mistake and let them suffer along with our people. If this is an opposition that were willing to come in and take a government, people who are willing to sacrifice the Liberian people. And these are the people that are going to come out and say they want to be in next position to rule us. I feel bad for us. Let me now address the issue. Mr. Central Right, yes, I agree with you. The government have made so many mistakes. I agree with you. My point here tonight is not to come out and say and start naming all of the mistakes. I keep saying here, I got binary full of false error from this government. And from before you came in, another point that I was making, that the president himself, the statement he made about the street talk, it was unfortunate and it is uncalled for. It shows that the president was not able to exhibit the leadership, the followership that every one of us was looking for from him. I made that point. But the issue here is this. The rice importer, I agree. What is the issue? The issue is because they were not paying them on time and they still have not paid them on time. I agree with all that. My point of bringing the opposition, I'm not saying that the opposition should come in and be a government in shadow government or the government in exile. That's not the issue. The point here is this. The opposition need to come out and hold the government feet to the fire, number one. In the meantime, I want solution. Kumi is a very smart man. Baka has been doing that thing here for 40 some more years. These people, between two of them, and Honorable Councillor Ganglo, who is so masterful in the constitution of Liberia that he can come out with some sort of a law all by himself that will benefit our people. And I'm saying to these three gentlemen, our people are suffering. Where is the solution? Any solution from any of you? Bring it up and let's talk about it. Instead, look at this, Mr. So. Few weeks ago, did anybody say anything about Kumi when he had that open letter to the president? What kind of another open letter come out? Oh, that memo tell you to get open letter because the open letter benefit you? Oh, I see. Is that what you want? Is that how you want to rule us? Is that how? Look, let me just tell you, this ANC, Liberian people are not stupid anymore. Nobody's stupid around here. We're watching. While we know this government is doing some stuff that many of us don't agree with, but for you to say you're sitting on a solution to our people, you're sitting there and want this government to drown because they made a mistake. In the meantime, our people are suffering. Then you will come on and say you want to be president. We'll have to talk to you about that.
Wow. Do you have any? Do you want to respond to him, George?
Yeah, Mr. Toll, let me tell you this. You cannot wrap this thing around the ANC, nor the opposition. George Weah was elected by the Liberian people. They gave him the social contract they signed was take all the resources, you manage all the resources, and protect us. That includes feeding us. Make sure that we are fed every day before we go to bed. But the George Weah government has created a psychological impact on the lives of Liberians, denigrating them to nothing. And you don't want to talk about that? If a man cannot feed a child, what respect he got in our home? Even they got the money, but they can't find the right to buy, or so expensive. How will he go to work and think solid? How the child will go to school and sit down to concentrate when they are hungry? It's all because George Weah negligent. This thing it could be avoided. It would have been avoided. No need to create it. But because they are incompetent, they cannot do anything.
Is that how the opposition going to define?
No, Mr. So this is Amos George speaking on behalf of the Liberian people. I'm speaking about that child who could not afford to get a hard cup of bread to eat. Not because the parent did not have the money, but because the government failed to provide to make rice available on the market. This is what I'm speaking about. The opposition got nothing to do with this thing. Mr. Toll, I don't care how you can swing it around. All Joy we need to do, pay the people money, rest come in. That's all. That's all you need to do. So no opposition is supposed to go and tell him, oh, Mr. President, you're supposed to pay the people money. No. He got a commerce minister there. If the commerce minister is not doing her job, then fire her. If she don't know how to carry the rest in the warehouse and remind importer that, hey, you cannot go this level.
Fire here seems to be the kind of slogan now coming from the other side of the world. Is that sort of a strategy now they want to deploy to kind of like strangulate the GOL to this position? Because I'm adding to try to dwell on your word. Okay, this person can do this. Fire her, fire him. And sooner or later, he's gonna be like a, standing alone guy.
No, standing alone, Mr. So this is a political party kingdom existing. They took over a government. Except they are telling me only one person there, only that lady can become a minister. If she's not performing that, the only person will do the job. Except they tell me that. But I'm just using the word fire me to just illustrate something. But if these people has Joe, we are called his commerce minister and say, what happened? Because I want to address the nation, or you go to address the nation, what is going on? We don't know. The people have, for the name mentioned, the people have become bobo. They are mute. Nobody can speak to the Liberian people on this critical issue. What is more important than rest in Liberia? When the people, that is the stable food. And one of the things I saw one of the representatives saying on a station, ridiculous thing he was saying, this Akaya Gray, I don't know where this guy came from, to say that comparing Liberian diet to Ghana. I don't know what history just meant there. How can you compare Liberian diet to that of Ghana? Talking about rice is a luxury in Ghana. Therefore, Liberian people now should start changing the diet. Rice is not the major diet in Ghana. No, it's fufu. You eat fufu talk like at night there. Anytime at night you can eat fufu, not rice.
So okay,
it's not the stable. It's not right. It's not the stable food. So when Honorable Gray make that kind of statement, you can imagine what when he got sit down or when the president yesterday celebrating a so-called birthday where back of the country are hungry, and these are going to be the discussed. That because of the chief
we always kind of get the views and opinions of some of our people. This is Moses Thomas. Nobody is here to babysit the president. He is the leader of Liberia, and he holds all power under his watch. Nobody is here to give the president solution. Let Honorable GMW figure it out.
I mean, that's his view. No, people can suggest to the president that is not out of the norms. People can suggest to the president, opposition can suggest to him. But this particular thing, this is no scientific problem. That you have to get consulting for the people to come. Simple thing. All the people pay them. If no rest, you hold them accountable.
So I don't know.
To come to want to wrap the thing around ANC, something to please don't go there. Maybe if you want to go and wrap it around Joseph Walker, you can go, but not ANC. Mr. Cummings is not going to come out on the issue right now.
Are you providing consultancy to Cummings?
No, I'm just saying because there's no need.
You're sounding very definitive. Mr. Cummings will not.
Yeah, I have not spoken to Mr. Cummings nor any of the executive, but I'm just saying, from my standpoint, there's no need. These people are drowning. Any word you're going to add there, they want to tend to use it against you.
Do you want them to drown? Are they the only one drowning, or the Liberian people are also drowning?
Oh, the Liberian people. Not when I mean these people. The Liberian people are the one drowning. Georgia got 150 bags or maybe 2,000 bags already in your house. Some metro got maybe 1,000. The Minister of Commerce. These people can get and ask these people. They are not hungry. That's why they are not talking. Their children are not hungry. They're not feeling the pain. There's no pressure on these people from it. It's the Liberian people that are feeling the pain.
Okay.
And because the government decided to ignore these people and telling them, this is what you people got, gave up power, and this is how we're going to treat you people.
All right. You all know the traditions of this network. We don't just want to poke in the eyes of the government. We also try to put the government in an attempt to provide a broader or proportional conversation here. So the second part to our question here tonight now, we already pull the strings here, whether the government is unable to control the narrative. The second portion of that is, how can it be changed? What can the government do now to change this conversation? Because actually, from our indication, it's like they brought it upon themselves, because what the president could have done upon that arrival, maybe he could have, if I were in his position, I would even put aside the summit issue. I call the media, hey, look, I have been told of this rights issue, but I'm here. In the next coming days, ASAP, we will speak directly to the Liberian people, but I can show you. Because in life, in society, in government, organizations, leader, assurance is something that members or supporters always try to look up, because what that does is stabilize the tension, it cool down unnecessary tension, it build hopes to the people that indeed something gonna be done. But that did not happen, and yet we still not seeing this issue is being adequately addressed. So put that, please disrobe yourself from that ANC garment. The liberal who is from the Liberty Party USA / Joseph Boyka, I want you to also put that government here. Let's see here, it's in the interest of the country here. What can GOL, how can this change this narrative? We go Los Reyes thing now settle, Miami business come out. I don't know tomorrow is Monday, whether the Florida or California's another thing going on. Why is this government, and in the past, Helen Justin, yes, a little bit, why is it so difficult that they can't get the information that is needed, that they can't contain something to get this message out, when there should be some kind of way that they should play around it? Why? Multiple people speaking. Akara's great on the other end, he more than the Minister of Information or Presidential Press Secretary. That is a complete crazy, and it's very insane. I've never seen anything like this happen. And when he's speaking, he beats his chest as if he's been authorized by the executive to do what he's doing, and nothing is said. Almost a year ago, I'm getting a little bit upset here now, because we were told that the chain of communication, because the GOL government did realize that there was a lot of too much of multiple people, the communication aspect was not properly coordinated as it should be. And we were told that it was going to be well coordinated, centralized, so that people will know exactly who speak for who speak. You can look at me any kind of way, liberal, you want to look at me, but I'm just telling you what it is and what the Liberian people deserve. Up to this time, nothing is being coordinated. However, we are here to also propose, make recommendation. This is Liberia Public Radio. We're not just an entertainment industry here. We tell people what they need to know, not necessarily what they want to hear. So the flip part of this here is, how can the government change this narrative? What do they need to do? Let me start with you, because you're looking a little bit uncomfortable right now.
Thank you, Mr. Soul. As liberal on this platform, like I've always stated, I am here to be the counterweight for you and the center right. At the same time, I'm also here as well to be truthful. The healing of whatever is aching Liberians right now, it's only God that can redeem us, not this government.
What are you talking about?
Mr. Soul, may I speak, please? This government, at the rate they're going, they will not be able to solve many, many problems before their time is over. Now, what I do believe is that the God we all serve will be with us, and Liberians will come out of it. A few hours ago, my son called me, and I'm supposed to be sending him some money for his daughter's school fee. But then he told me, if you send our money, don't put the rice money in there, then I'll eat my own daughter's school fee, because we need rice. So I have to now find extra money to put on there so the daughter can get school fee and go to school so they can get their own rice. Then he's telling me, and not enough, because the rice prices are so high right now, you gotta put something else on it. I have to now double that. And I'm saying there's not just me. Many Liberians all over the world, Liberian the diaspora all over the world, most likely are facing the same problem. What I thought this president would have done is to turn this thing around. You just came to the United Nations, despite what the center right is saying. You just came to the United Nations and demonstrated to the entire world how good you are. Your speech was so wonderful. And the central right is over here talking about what this other country came and got this, and the other country came and got that. Liberian official was unable. The people that came and got certain money or whatever, it didn't just happen overnight. There's been conversation.
So is that a makeup? No, listen. This is a network. We can't just be having a.
Okay, go ahead. I can deal with you. I can deal with you.
Yeah, okay. Because I wanna. This is not just for us.
I can deal with you. Put on your question.
Oh, yeah. Because why is he saying? Is it a makeup or what?
About the other? No, it's not. It's the truth.
Okay.
He left from here with nothing to show. I agree.
So
is
he right? Is he right though?
Yes.
Okay.
But let me go further than that. What he didn't mention, those people that came here and got all the huge sums of money, the conversation didn't just start overnight, didn't just happen over in Washington or I mean in New York during a UN conference. This was a conversation that was happening behind the scene. And this government, and this is what I'm getting ready to tell you right now. Instead of having the people to have that kind of conversation behind the scene, he fired the ambassador, the person who's supposed to be the one who initiated this kind of conversation, and then liaised with the foreign minister to say this is what's happening. These are the people we're supposed to be in contact with. He fired that person with bringing them home and coming to the UN. Where are these people? These are the kind of people that are supposed to be your foot soldiers and try to guide you, to tell you who is going to be in favor of giving you certain amount of money to do certain things. If I recall that person. So I'm just saying why I agree with the center right. He didn't go farther. He should have gone farther than that. So when you ask, how did the government of Liberia now try to resolve it, or can they take control of the narrative? No, they are incapable of taking narrative, taking any control of anything. My point, my argument here with respect to the opposition is quite aware of all of these things. And I'm not asking them to utilize it, to utilize this kinds of process to be able to play politics with it. My thing is, the government have failed on many occasions. Many occasions. Only sometimes they shine a little bit. You use this opportunity not for politics, not for your own gain, political gain, but you use this opportunity to point out how this government is doing and be specific. Instead, my future president of the Republic of Liberia have a speech. He was so general in his pronouncement. He was not specific. And I expected more than that. Now, let me go back to the president. If this president was somebody who would take control, first of all, before I go there, if you've been watching the social media lately, what are some of the things Carrasco and the other people talking about? They're all reversing back to Dr. Wiasaka Day. They're not talking about the bridges he has built. They are not talking about the road he has built. They are not talking about the parking lot he has built. They are not talking about everything else in terms of infrastructure that he has built, because they got nothing to talk about. So what do? They go back.
What are they doing that?
Excuse me?
Why do you think they are doing that?
Because they're in trouble. I told you that the last time. They're in serious trouble. And so now they're going back to his soccer day, hoping that many of us who idolize and who truly enjoy. In fact, if you go on social media, you will find him scoring so many goals. Now, as we speak, people who are supporting him, these are the kinds of videos they put up now. So their intent is to go back and generate that feeling. But the sad thing is, as Sister said the other day, the sad thing is there's a disconnect. Those of us that enjoy those days when he was playing football, we have our kids. My son, who is in the marina, know about George Weah, but he has no clue about his soccer days. And many young Liberians in Liberia, they just hear it and see it on the video, but there's no connection. Now, let me say this here, Mr. So. What I thought the president would have done, it was his birthday yesterday. Try your best to hold the feet of these people you appointed. Hold their feet to the fire. Have an emergency meeting on your birthday and throw the cake down on the floor. What the heck is going on here? Are we unable to govern? on my birthday, and they kind of people say the people are hungry, and let the people carry that kinds of video. Seeing you throwing the cake down. Then you can't say you want to celebrate with me when my people are dying. I've got you guys to help me. All of you here are educated. You mean none of you here able to bring us solution that we can get out of this mess? And now you come in here, come celebrating with me. Our Liberian people say their faith will be sure that the social shame will make them. If he had done that, that's another way of taking himself to the next level. But what did he do? I saw him drive. You see, these people, they're not even able to have the cognizance of the mind to say our people are suffering. There's a video having the president driving himself to the party when Liberians cannot find rice. How can you be that callous that you will drive yourself to a party when people cannot find rice? And yet, as Mr. Joyce stated, up to this point, you have not even come out to say anything to those people. In other words, they should fend for themselves. And this is sad, because this is not the president that I know. This is not Dr. Weir that I know. I know he meant good. Because this is a man, I will say again, during the war, when people were damaging the country, killing each other, he will come and save lives.
Okay.
Go from because this is very painful for me. It's very painful for me. He will go from refugee camp to refugee camp just so that people will survive. And now he has given the opportunity to carry out on a larger scale. But because he employed these inept behavior, people who are unable to produce, people who pay money for their jobs. Because if you're not qualified for the job, you pay money. And so since you pay money, you can't do the job because you're not qualified. And this is what we are. Very, very shameful. Very.
As you know, on this network, we also engage our onliners as part of their way of contributing, and selections are done to randomly. It's on comments and tweets that's coming up. This is what Archie is writing. The South African slogan Tamanda Tawetu, which means power to the people, has been totally misinterpreted by the government. Instead of power to the people, it has changed to power to the government. They eat and sleep well, while commoners hardly get sleep due to hunger. Now, this when people are tweeting, people are writing these comments. In the past, like 2017, the explosive of the social media, the TikTok and all of these things coming to into being announced, how the mockery is being made of this whole Miami, showing one side of Miami in the real sense and another Miami in the dead war or whatever it is, and people are writing here. I'm wondering here, where is the strategist section? Where is the party chairman, the chair of the party? Besides the government, the party, the ruling party, has a very greater portion in terms of driving the agenda of the ruling party, because it is their party is in the driving seat. Let me ask you, Amos George, I know you're going to flip up here but I'm asking, we talk about we want an alternative now. What can they do? So for God's sake, for heaven's sake, put your government of a sympathizer of our position here, and let's just do it interim in the interim for the good of the country here. Well, even though they might accept, they might not. I don't know, but we are having a genuine conversation. What can the government do to change this narrative to return to baseline?
Mr. So, let me be very honest with you. If I was sitting down with the president, what I would suggest to him, he will not do it. Because the first thing I would tell him, somebody got to be thrown under the bus. Fire the command minister. Let him carry all the blame.
You always fire is one of your first recommendations.
Mr. So, in order to save face, someone got to be the sacrificial lamb. So do that. Or the next thing, maybe what they would have done immediately. I mean, next thing is bring the rice importer. Put it on camera. I said, hey, what happened? Why you didn't bring rice? They can't look in the president and say, you don't pay us. They will find some excuse. So you put some, they take some blame. But no strategy. Because if there was strategy, then we'll be talking something different. We have some different thing to add, different thing to blame. Maybe the importer will say, oh, we should bugger the blame on it, but there's no strategy. So this is it. So where they are at now, it's difficult because it's going weak now. Nowadays, weak. What can you come now and tell the people? All the people want to hear that rest is in the country. There's no way you can trace the thing around now. All they want to hear is rest in the country. And so they are caught up in a hard place. See, that's why none of them are talking. But let me say this also. You talk about government more peace. And I will just mention them because I have to do it. Kev Hassan, I think it was on Monday. That guy was showing photos that the people were unloading rice from the port. This guy, someone sent a picture from Morovia. Said the ship was there, the cream. It said that the cream was taking the rice out of the port. Now, if the cream is unloading the rice up to now, the rice is now on the market. You see how Liberians, people who are fanatic, don't see the country, but they see an individual promulgating the kind of message on social media that there was put up at the port, they were unloading rice, and show a photo of people unloading rice according to him. You see how the GOL, this man now has become like a mouthpiece of the government. Where is he getting all the information from? When he tells you, oh, let me call, this is what they're saying. Instead of the mean people who will be promulgating the messages, they are not nowhere to be found. But you got people who sit there in the corner because they know one minister, two ministers, they can, they say, oh, when they on the social media, oh, say they want, yeah, this one happening. Where they got no facts to. This is the problem. And yesterday, that was a bizarre day for the president again. Me, I tell people, I don't celebrate birthday. My family, all of them know me, I don't celebrate birthday. I don't have time for it. Other people's birthday, yeah, I can wish them, it might be bad, but for me, I don't care about it. That's the kind of person I am. So, yesterday was the president's birthday. Seeing the crisis on hand, why couldn't he take that time and say, you know what happened? I'm not celebrating. I'm not having anything. I'm calling a cabinet meeting to talk to my cabinet to know what is happening so we can put a message up to the Liberian people. But instead of that, they're showing Ryan a fence car going to a party. And the minister will come up with the one ushering the people in. That is to tell you, these people they got no empathy, no sympathy for the people whom they said the rule. Not to say the minister all the time, all of them together, Mr. So, they are together every day. And none of them can come out to say a word to the Liberian people. So this is the problem. When you get power to people who cannot handle it, these are the results you will get at the end of the day. So I don't care how much advice you suggest to George Weah and the lives of the cronies. They will tell you, say, that man, those people that were in power, they didn't do nothing, and they want to come to tell who are they. They got one of the good, smartest men who just got from one of the highest school of economics in London, Sam Jackson. Where's Sam Jackson? He always defending them. You can't see him now on social media. Where is he? The man just got from school of London, economics, one of the highest school in London. Where is he?
So the question now becomes here, are people advising and someone is manipulating or someone is intercepting those advices, or if the principal himself is not listening, he does whatever he wants to do, he's in charge. So I'm wondering, how often cabinet meetings, how often briefings from these ministry agencies of government are provided? Because on the basis of those briefings has been provided, the president can also address the nation. The president can speak on different issues or talk to the public. Is that happening or not? Something to
Mr. So, and this is another painful chapter here. The death of Madame Peno.
Mona Youngblood?
Yes, the death of that young lady.
You think Shikwa made a difference?
Yes, yes, because
we before her demise, and you're going to make a point. Before her demise, we were hearing a lot of talking that were going on within the rank and file.
Yes,
how I think she was doing everything possibly to can, really within the proximity get much closer. I think she was even prepared, because I know someone that really worked directly or working directly in the office of her, and they were doing everything possible to get closer to the president, but there was also blockade, because everybody wants to hang out, everyone wanted to, but I think she was a very smart lady.
She was.
And do you think this is where this whole field system coming into place?
Yes. If she was to still be alive, not only was she a sedition, but she was a very smart sedition in her blood. Let's put it that way. Because one of the things that she believes in, and this lady was here in Sacramento a long time ago for a relative wedding, and I had a conversation with her. One of the things she believes in, if you're a sedition, you have to produce. Being a sedition does not mean you don't have to do anything. Everything should just fall in your lap. She doesn't believe that. And I think there's a video somewhere before she died, when she came back from Ghana, after their defeat by that lady, when she got flogged by Dallas Dillon the first time, she asked, all sedition, let's go back under the sycamore tree, and then you tell us what is happening, so we can have our conversation. That kinds of talk is not happening right now. They are not asking seditions. This young man that just wrote this stuff never saw George Weah play. I have heard of him. I've seen the video, but he himself, this young man that stuff, he himself a soccer giant.
Who's that?
This IG Wayne boy here. Okay, he has not seen. He never saw George Weah play. Okay, so to connect that is going to be difficult. But the point that I'm making here, there's nobody. It doesn't seem to me. When they first took over, I was climbing here on my show for Moruba Molu to take control, to go and be either the chief of protocol or be close to the president before that Moruba Molu liquor talk came out. Because I believe Moruba Molu, the way he was going around campaigning for this president, I thought there was some sort of a connection. But after McGill came in and Sister Finambano came in, it seemed like they shut everything down. Everybody. And right now, there's nobody. You think if Mona Pena was alive and had that kind of connection with the president would not have driven himself to a party.
Mona too, we were being told, it's not improper, but when you talk to the inner world of people that are familiar with this here, we have been told Mona, she was prepared to abandon that position. It seemed she forecast that there was a potential problem,
and she wanted to go in, and she wanted to go in. Yes,
exactly. Wanted to go in there to be the fixer.
Exactly. I heard that. The issue, and that was before my good friend Ada Lawrence died. So I am a little bit familiar with these things here. But the issue was Mona Pena was not somebody that would just sugarcoat stuff. Her father was never like that. The father used to play for St. Joseph Warrior anyway.
Yeah.
But he was never like that. Water Pena is not somebody, even practice ground. When you talk to Mom Musa, then they will tell you, practice ground. He doesn't allow people to manipulate stuff. So this daughter was never like that. But her passing is very sad. But that's besides the point now. Right now, among the sedition. When was the last time? All of these social media, this person said, this person said. When was the last time you heard Archibald Bernard say something? The last time that his name was mentioned was when the American called him about that sanction stuff.
Yeah.
And he made that statement. That was the last time. When was the last time you heard this other guy that sold the Liberian people plane? When was the last time you heard their name?
Right. This is a staggering part here, and it's good you brought this into conversation here. At times here, I know it might sound a little bit ridiculous making that sort of comparison here, but it's a national government that is running. These people are advisor and counsel to the president. We saw how Kelly Conway, all of these people here, for God's sake, they could even imitate and pretend and profess to be. They are doing their work, but they all their mouth all shut up. We can't hear anything. So then what's the point of having an economic advisor? What's the point of having a counsel to the president? You have to intercede for the guy. You have to be the guy to be out there. None of this is happening, and hell is breaking loose. The canoe is going, the ship is on the sea now. There is no technician, and if there's a technical problem, that could be a disaster. So
what they depending on, you go ahead and finish your statement.
Yeah. And talking to that Mona was speaking in a very esoteric, in a unique tone. And I'm waiting to see who's going to capture that sort of imaginations and perfect it into reality, saying, let's go back on the sycamore tree. The sycamore tree is just a symbolic any other tree there, but she knows that's what the momentum got built up. That's where the party became where it is today to be the ruling party. Perhaps going back there and sitting in our sunlight and having a conversation who have given way to ordinary seditions and people's voices to be heard. But Porcupine came, who is not even a sedition. Porcupine Nathaniel Maggie came from the MPP bloc and managed to steal the show, became the presidential, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Chief of Staff. Definitely he stands in the corridors of the president. Anybody who enters the president office, you have to be facilitated by Nathaniel McGee, which was a problem, and we saw how the whole thing went. By the way, McGee now is completely out of the picture. The deputy is coming in here. But what I'm saying here, who is in now within this system,
Mr. So, and that's why I'm getting ready to bust your bubble now. This is the liberal. Like I said, I come to these things from a broad perspective. Yes, and these are all my belief, and you can discard them, whatever it is. Here's the issue right now. Nobody is there to talk about sycamore tree. In fact, the sycamore tree said they need water because they're dying. Seriously, have you seen a picture? No, on a very serious note, Mr. So. When I went back in 2000, when I went back on the first time for a very long time, I went to the sycamore tree and I was invited in a circle, and I took pictures of the leaves of that sycamore tree. They were all green. Go look at it now. It's just like a tree from Somalia. But anyway, let me say this here, Mr. So. The lady who perhaps could have done that, but she will not do it. This political party, what they call CDC, it's like a checkerboard mismatch.
Oh Lord,
group of people mismatch, and so their messages are not the same. You saw the last time the vice president, she could have taken on the role of the mother of CDC, and be able to get herself involved, because Liberians respect their mothers. It doesn't matter what. This is a lady that visited Grand Union County just recently. Former President Taylor's ex-wife visited Grand Union, and nobody will say nothing, because they respect their sisters, they respect their moms, and they respect their wives. So this woman, what I'm saying, should have come in. They should have been able to say, okay, let her come in and reorganize the CDC base. When was the last time you saw Monuba Monu talking anything on Facebook? Nothing. Monuba Monu can talk. But when was the last time you saw Monuba Monu really going into Facebook and making it round on this platform? Nothing. Their stomach full. They're not hungry. So it's difficult to take that, to bring, that's why they will be defeated. because it's difficult to bring that inner self out of them. They're stomach full. They're satisfied. Look at the kind of car they're riding. And so they don't have that eagerness to want to succeed. Or they say, hey, man, I've done my best. That kind of behavior. And this is exactly what is happening. We're talking rights issue, Mr. Soul. Anybody from Liberia that is of age know that rice is very dangerous. It's like a krypton to Superman. To any presidents in Liberia, rice is like a death trap. Rice issue in Liberia brings people down quicker than cool can bring you down. And so for this president, who is not of a Concord descent, who is truly countryman just like myself, to sit there and the people talking about rice, and even if rice is there, you have to show like you did it last time. But instead, while people are still complaining, for you to go to the party, drive yourself to the party, and have that kind of going inside. Even if you say, I don't want to play into the pure politics, the optic itself is bad. The pictures, you don't have to say anything. I don't even have to classify it. The picture is bad. Anybody, you talk to an American, you talk to any political person, they will tell you that picture don't look good. It's bad. It's bad. And so I'm just saying here that I hope the president will recognize that, and maybe before long that he will come and make statement to the Liberian people about this right. So even if this right shortage, if it's self-imposed, people are lying about it, let him come out and say, look how fast the people came out the last time when our video about him doing X, Y, and Z. You saw how many people are over there defending themselves, calling this video, how the people want to start trouble, blah, blah. We're talking rights issue. If people are lying that rights there and people are making it up, you don't think CDC, all of these mouthpieces we got around here, they will be saying something? But they have subsidized or subcontract. The mouthpiece of CDC has been subcontracted to the Liberian diaspora platform for them to talk to about them, and they're not doing even a good job either.
Yeah, this is Amos George.
Yeah, let me you in your statement, something, your last sentence you made a comment. I want you to modify it before I say anything. What do you mean by he's now of Congo descent?
You know, Congo man.
So wait, hold on. Are you saying that the Congo descent are insane?
People are wicked. Let me go to you straight. You know me. I'm not here for friendship. Congo people are wicked. So the man, I don't Congo man. He know our.
Okay, so yeah, so is he wicked?
I'm not here for friendship business. I'm telling you, I'm saying the Congo people are wicked.
No, okay. Is George we are wicked?
No. Okay. But he's behaving like a Congo people now.
So, meaning?
He's trying to if he's not careful, he'll be wicked. But let me go on a very serious note. Let me just say this. Hold on, Mr. George. I'm glad. No, please, Mr. George.
That's my time. You
I will eat some
of Mr. George.
Mr. George, I will eat your time a little bit. Thank you for bringing that up on a very serious note. Let me make some clarification. What I meant was, and I'm not taking back about Congo people being wicked. I still stand by that. But what I meant that he's not a Congo person, the fact that he grew up in poverty, he should be able to understand the rice issue. Congo people in Liberia, they know rice business. They can get rice those days when people were crying for rice. They were not suffering. They were not suffering. What suffering they had?
No.
Nothing. That's the point that I'm making.
Okay. This is what Amara Sharif is saying. You're going to have your time here, Mr. Weah. George Weah is not a person with him on mind. Is that equivalent to the descriptions you just gave? Or?
No. The man, Amos Sharif should understand when Liberian was killing each other, Dr. Weah was going around to provide pretty much counsel to Liberia. When he come to Liberia, he put on a football booth, people would stop dying. Children would live that night.
Is he still providing that counsel today?
Mr. Joy wanted to say something.
No.
I'm asking you a question.
Question.
Is he still providing the counsel today, Mr. Toh?
Honestly, and it pained me. I want to skip that question, but I think what you said, we have to be honest with each other here. Honestly, no, he's not, and that's very bad. That's very hurtful, because that's not who he is. He has always done this to his people, and now to have the power and not be able to provide that kinds of leadership is very painful to all of us.
So it's a fair, Amos. Here we hold each other accountable as well. The people are looking up to us for a good sense of direction here in terms of the kind of conversation we're going to be having. So is it fair to say there was deceit, hypocrisy that he was playing? Because or if it's is it fair to say we are seeing the real side of George we are now than what we saw past years?
Mr. So.
No, hold on one second. Let's let the liberal.
Yeah. What kind of question? What kind of question you asking so? What kind of question you asking so? I just told you the man used to save people's life. Then you say you've seen the real side. No, that's not the real side. That's the side the crooks are made out of George Weah. That's the crooks. The Bona, the whatever the men that sold the Liberian people playing, all of the crooks that the McGill, all the people, instead of them to guide him to be part of that process on a very serious note.
Who is the ultimate decider of decision?
He is.
Is he doing that?
Yes.
Is he doing that?
No.
So why were you? Is he now an adult to make an informed decision for?
Yes, he is, but he depends on them as well. He cannot do all by himself.
He's like a political parasite.
I will not say that. That's too much of a strong language to use on my president.
Amos George.
Yeah, let me say this, Mr. Toh. We get emotional sometimes, and we believe certain people will get too emotional. And that question, that statement made, that question asked, not every Congo people were bad. And like Local W said, not every black man is your friend, and not every white man is your enemy. Not every Congo people were bad in Liberia, so you don't put them in that bundle, the basket of deplorable, because of George Weah. I want to stand, and I will stand by that. And I think one day you will attest to that not every Congo people were bad in Liberia. You said that, oh, Congo people, they didn't know they were eating rice. Today, what George Weah doing? The people are hungry. He ride a flashy car and eating 4-3 meals. So what's the difference between he and the Congo people? When they come to that issue, what's the difference?
Hold on one second. Something to do you agree with me?
I agree. Not all Congo people, because my mom is a Congo woman.
But you put everybody.
Not all Congo people are bad.
We're done with that one. You agree with the point that he just made regarding George Weah with respect to his people. Do you agree with him?
His eating habit, the amount of food you got in your house, or what have you. I don't know that. I'm not here to discuss.
We're saying the turkey and not even for me, their own Eugene Fagon. What he needs said.
Yeah, but Eugene Fagon, they kick him out of job. So
the maritime man. We saw that his own is more than. If there's any word to define balanced diet, it's over balanced diet. He displayed all of those. I don't know where he's getting that appetite from. At which I can get that somewhere.
But Samson, so let me tell you, you're not being honest with us and to our listeners. For you to say you don't know that what a George Weah got fulfilled in your house. Are you telling me the personal Liberia house will be empty, Samson told?
Mr. Simple, I am not in a business to look into the personal house.
You try to throw a red beat up, and I'm responding to you. So here's the thing here, Mr. So you asked. Let me answer a question first. According to, I think, the PCP law, ministries and agencies are supposed to make quarterly report as to their performance. Whether that is being done, I cannot speak of it because we don't see it in the public domain. Maybe they do it, they go to George Weah Hall and submit their people there and they leave. You saw when they had a retreat, they were giving someone 3 minutes or 5 minutes to do a presentation of the overall performance of the job at the agency. Is that enough to tell the Liberian people the progress, shortcoming of each agency. No. But that's how he chose to run his government. So these are issues. And you talk about advisors and things. In my show, Ajibor Bonar, Bright, Charles Bright, none of these people can appear on camera because when they do it, it will be a disaster for George Weah. So that's why you see all these people are hiding their faces. Only their name you can hear as government official, but they will not appear on camera to say this is what the president is doing. They will not appear on camera because that would be a stress hard for George Weah to have people in the public domain to speak on any issue, knowing the past record, so they would not even appear on camera. Just take that off. So the government, that's why I tell you, so when I use the word that these people are incompetent, inept, don't know what they're doing, this is what I mean. Ministries and things supposed to make quarterly report. But when I saw in the public domain that there was a report from the Minister of Finance, there was this. Nothing. Let me give another example. The other day it was in the paper that the revenue went up, the revenue performance was 5%, exceeded expectation. But then they said, oh no, the human index performance low. And what is the human index? You talk about health, education, infrastructure. Nothing is being done. But if you say you collect more money and those things are not being done, then what happens? So it means that they're stealing the money.
I'm getting to the point. And there are people, Samuel 12, they are folks, they are some of the folks around George Weah. When you see him with towels sweating and wiping his face, he began to make our joint terminology, economic terminology. Yeah, they are the people creating problems, and it's just, I don't understand.
Because of that report came from the World Bank, they said that the top about people there challenge it and say it was false, and the same analysis I'm giving. Because if you say you generated more money, then what happened to all the other things? Why there's been no progress made? So you can see when sometimes we use this money and people say, oh, they don't like the government. I mean, they don't like Weah. But for me, I don't know President Weah. I got any person about when they come to the country, he's in charge. And if these things are happening under his watch, do you want me to come here like something to the same person? No, let me say this something too. George Weah did some good thing when he was playing football. I can't take that from him. But this narrative something to you're pushing around here. George Weah cannot tell you how many times he went on Bujumbura camp and hosted a party for the children on the camp. Pazawe is here. Casaprico, Eugene Facon, they are right here. Let them tell you how many times George Weah went on that camp and hosted a party for the children on the camp. It never happened. So that narrative, some of you continue to push around here, it's not all correct. He visited, I think he visited Ghana, officially the camp, I think one time. It was again, I think Lone Star or something, when he went to camp. That was it. Did George Weah go to Ivory Coast? And when he visited the camp, what did he do? All the questions you'll be asking other people. What was the kindergarten school that he donated money to help? Because you don't want to bring all these things up. So that narrative people have created, it's not true. There are some fallacies in it. Okay? He did something which is actually true, but some of the things you continue to build this character on, it's not true. And I just want to, that's why I gave people names. You can contact them, yeah, they will tell you. Because I don't talk in the abstract, I talk that thing that is reality. These are people I name are giving, you can contact them. So the whole thing here is, Mr. So, this is what I always say. The old man to my uncle used to tell me, he said, my son, let me paraphrase here, do not get land to children or strangers. Government is not for children. Yeah, it is that. This is what now we're talking about. There is scarcity of rights in the country. From all ends, no government official can speak on the issue. Nobody responsible can come on behalf of the government to address the issue. What are you going to tell the people? And they will not be honored to say, "Look, you know what happened? We had a problem with the rest input. We did not give them the money they requested on time, so they will not be resting." If you say that you put in gas on the fire, so they will not be honest to say it. The best thing they have resorted into is, you know what happened? We'll keep quiet. After 1 week, it will die down. Because that's the common mentality of the Liberian people. And this is the strategy now they have deployed. Nobody talk. No government official make any comment. Are you telling me George where is not listening to the radio in Morovia to hear BBC, VOA, they carrying the story? Are you seeing that George where is not listening? But they are chose to become to be insensitive to the plight of the very people that you say they love. And if you love yourself and you see your fellow men struggling to feed a family, not because of their own misgiving, but because of the central government action, and nobody can speak on it, how much more can you say you empathize with the people? It's because you can go and fill stadium with a group of people and give them t-shirt and sing sour sour. That's the love you have for them? No, that's not it. This is now what we see men coming to say, yeah, we run government. Crisis producer character. And the Liberian people now must see the kind of leadership they have in the country.
Okay. Well. So, are they running a big political risk here?
If it was in America, in the Western world, I will tell you, Mr. So, seriously, that would be a big political risk. But Liberia is a godly society. So I can't put my hand on it or put my money on it. Because tomorrow that was the same market when we say, oh, what you want the president to do? But they don't understand that the president controls the entire price of Liberia. That government responsibility to make sure that food is on the market. It's not locally produced. It's imported. And there are people who are registered to handle that, and government coordinate that those people. So if someone is not living up to the agreement or expectation of the government, it is the government responsibility to say, hey, we're going to take this money because we don't want to get in trouble with our people, because since maybe you are not competent or capable to do this, then we'll find somebody else. But if the government is not paying the people and not being honest with the people on the other side, what do you expect? The vacuum that have been created, how can they fill it? It's a serious problem. It only boils down to people that they are not competent or capable to do what they charged to do.
Okay, we gradually making the time. So, Liberal,
Yes.
Is the clock eating? Can we rule out? Can we come to a conclusion now that the ruling establishment is coming to a political demise? We still have time. Can they recover from this? Can there be some sort of big political twist here where we all going to come here and start scratching our head? The CDC government, are they able to do that?
Well, I'm a person who believes in God, and so in God everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. But from my perspective, one of the faster way to achieve what you just lay out for the CDC government, first to get rid of Samuel Twe, and then fire a few other people, and then revamp the entire cabinet and bring in some outsider. And I think, because here is what I'm saying. If George Weah was to be defeated in this upcoming election, it will be because of lack of leadership, not because of popularity. And George Weah, if he was to win, on the other hand, win the election, it's not going to be because of his leadership. It will be because of popularity. So, in order for you to harness that popularity aspect of from the Liberian people, and the fact that you're lacking in leadership, bring in some fresh blood, new faces from different groups, not from CDC, and not sedition. Even if you're going to bring us sedition who are credible. Don't bring a South type sedition. And in your own circle, put somebody in there who will be one-on-one with you, somebody that you went to high school with, that you trust, that will tell you the truth. You don't have a ma today on his church. It was so funny. Good thing you brought that up. Today in a church when he was preaching, he said, I love everybody. I love people who love me, I love them back.
What's about if I don't love you?
But listen, this is what he said, and it's so funny. I'll play that video. He said, "People who hate me, they, he caught himself, and he said, I love them back." But he took some time to say that, because if it wasn't because he was in a church, we were going to say, "I hate them right back." You're going to say that. But the point that I'm making here, Mr. So, you need to bring somebody who will challenge you, not in terms of your character. The person, they know who you are already. But in order to guide you, people who criticizing you will believe and you will trust. But when you bring out these people, what can Samuel Tuer do right now? How can he help this president? The man who have told us that he wanted the president to be a benevolent dictator. What kinds of information, or what type of strategy that Samuel Tuer would give to the president that will be beneficial to the Liberian people? None whatsoever. So if you're asking me if this, yes, I say it's possible, but in order to do that, there must be a drastic action from this government, and it must happen fast. What
could be the perfect example of a drastic action?
Fire Samuel Tuer.
And who else?
And Wilson Tapper must go. Eugene Nabwe must go. All of the people that came with you. When I say must go, I'm not saying you should just get rid of them, but reshuffle, put them to different places. You can't have Samuel Tuer in his one position for 5 years. And I can sit here without me even opening my banner. I can go with a $25 million map out. And that's going to be devastating for them. Because that $25 million map out, it has evidence, it has proof, it has auditor report. And it's not boasting well for them.
Don't you see, based on Uncle Sam's actions and sanctions, all of that, that was the only compelling situation. And when a call came from the European Union ambassador that landed in Charles Bright and Archibald's desk, say, look, this is what USA, European unions, and other major donors are saying. That information we said here before, it was 1 week GOL knew about the actions that were coming into place. They sat on that information. Nobody had the guts, balls, mind to get it to the president until the European Union said, hey, this needs to happen ASAP. Do you think the president and folks around the president, they sees Samuel Tuer as the last man standing since Nathaniel Mangi is off the radar? Do they see him as a last man standing? And so maybe I'm sanctioned. Yeah, I mean, when people, they don't do the right thing, that's it. So is he waiting that we are hearing more names and potentially a lot of names being called here, but we are not in the business always jumping here. Is he waiting for another sanction list before somebody can resign and then later on fire them? Is that what he's waiting for?
Well, if he does that, that will also be devastating for him. This is the time, and remember, Mr. Central Right and the far right, you guys can attest to this. From time to time, he have been calling for these people, for the reshuffle, remove these people from this position, put them somewhere. And believe me, if he had done that, McGill would have still be able to manipulate whoever's going to take his position, and he will still be in the background and do what he's supposed to do. Same thing with Samuel Tuer. If you move Samuel Tuer right now and put him somewhere, Samuel Tuer will still be almost the de facto minister of finance.
Okay,
but,
I want us to respond
for these people to be the face of your government, and then you're not serious.
Okay, let me play this quick yet, and then that probably going to be our last point yet. Patreon out of Punch FM, formerly of the bumper guy from ARBC, and later on moved to his own network. Case potentially came to an end, but this is what he told media after the Supreme Court decision, and I'm going to play a special clip here. But let's listen to this.
We all know the Supreme Court clearly talked about rights and how rights were violated. We all know very clearly that this was a political witch hunt. This was an opportunity to come after when people get power. And I want to say this, any other government, including the one I will support, never use power to come after other people, because any one of you could be trapped in this situation. This is going in the LLR, or is going into the law book forever. This is going to be used as an unprecedented case for people to study. That once you're opening your business, regardless of your political side, you have the right to operate in your own country. And I'm hoping that people will benefit from this. I want to congratulate all Liberians for standing with us, standing by us. And I can assure you, top quality broadcast is coming up. You will tune in, you never want to tune off.
Who say the ruling came out at the right time when we head into the elections?
Then I mean we see that one that you will see. And I want you to election. God does everything for the best.
What are you doing to us?
I will not tell that one else.
Okay, that was Patrick Honda when his station. But early of 2019, I also have the privilege to interview him. Let's listen to that. We'll try to reach out again to see whether we can have that rematch yet, and to see what it looks like. This is what we'll do here, right here on Liberian Public Radio. Let's listen to this.
The space for somebody like Ambassador, we are now president, for Councillor Bromsky, who appeared on the state radio, for Mr. Alexander Cummings, Simeon Freeman, Ellen Cockrum, even though Ellen Cockrum at that time raised serious issues against the former president, but we provided her the opportunity to be heard. It's a slight difference now from how we left it.
Yeah, but pardon, here is an amazing thing here. You knew all of that, the danger that involved. What it took you to make such decisions in breaking opposition? That's state radio. That's a station should propagate a government's agenda. That's how they should see it to be. What was the things that did you consider any aftermath consequences when you did all of that, or do you have to seek an approval?
Well, I can tell you, there were many times, many people don't know that I nearly fell in trouble. At one point in time, I had an interview. I remember I had an interview with Simeon Freeman, and he made some very disparaging comments about the former president. Immediately after the show, I was called down, and Eugene Nangbe, now information minister, also information minister at that time, said the president had some issues, serious issues. So he advised that I'd send him the recording so that he could listen to it. It was too bulky for me to transfer via file. So I just drove to Palm Springs where I met Eugene to give him the recording, and he listened to it. And he said to me, well, you see how people can put people in trouble in the Liberian way? He said a lot of people went to the president and told all kinds of things, how you entertaining opposition people and how you giving them chance to castigate her and all those kinds of things. So we went through a lot that we couldn't talk. During the elections, I won't
LPR, keeping you honest, that was 2019, I believe. I interviewed with Patrick Hunter when he got into trouble. At the time, he was with the State Broadcasting Corporation. He's going to be coming on air, but more or less, I think, who is he supporting? And actually, he's with the opposition for sure, I know. Joseph Boyka. Oh, he's going to be a good friend to something to Joseph Boyka. But I'm going to be reaching out to him to also see and have this second replay. Now, he's no longer with the State Broadcasting Corporation, so one can easily make a guess exactly how his talking point, how it's going to be like. Amos George, will Patrick Hunter, will he be the same Patrick Hunter that we used to be? But now he's more or less going to be playing the ball from the opposition side. What would be the backlash of that?
Well, it depends how he's going to conduct himself, the program. Will he be fair and balanced as he was doing at the state radio? So those are questions people, one of them will be waiting to see
The balance part, I can for sure tell you will be diminished because you took a position. You got a position on this network. The Liberal got a position. So I refuse to take a position, and I will not take a position because when I decide as a chief facilitator or chief anger or here, if I take a position and say maybe I'm going to ANC, just a boycott or the ruling establishment, who then going to come? Because it is already known there will be no fair treatment here, so this is not what we're going to be doing yet. The Liberal, I think you're going to be a good friend of yours. I wouldn't be surprised if you extend here an invitation to appear on this network because it's just going to be all boycott affairs, correct?
Most likely we will do that, and all we're going to do is usher in the president, the incoming president of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Barker, who will be the next president of the Republic of Liberia, and I bet he will be there for 12 years.
I think you and Mr. Thomas, Moses Thomas, going to be in the 1 year because seeing here, Honorable JNB is Liberia next president of the Republic of Liberia, come 2020. Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. All right. You see, as some people said, small, they try, then you just join inside. I just try to just pull your legs down, your true confection take place.
When it comes to the leadership of Dr. Bakai, I take no bike seat to nobody. He's the best. He's the best. However, I will also be truthful. If I see something that perhaps he's not doing that I feel is not right, I will say so.
You will say so. Okay, well, folks, that does it here.
Before we leave, I want to point out something here very quickly, Mr. So.
From where?
From where I'm sitting. A few minutes ago, you said if this network is fair and balanced. I agree with you. Few minutes ago, when you started this show, you seen a little bit fair and balanced. I agree with it. But then after, you have the central right picture alone for almost 5 minutes, while the entire viewership was looking at the central right. And you never put me on there to be on for that long of time. So yeah, like that. Yeah.
You put I think 2 or 3 times.
No, he just did it. He just did it. Because I'm pointing him out now. Now he's showing me. But he hired you because the reason I'm saying that, you and he, you're something else. You're something else. You see how you're going back and forth? But for you, he kept you there. The entire viewership watched you. They saw how you express yourself and everything else. But for me, you go blue plat. That's it. But anyway, I just want to point that out. Because, but like I said, whether you put my picture or you don't put my picture or, I hear as a counterweight.
No man.
Oh, okay, I accept it. Center right.
I'm afraid that when Joseph Boyka becomes president and Samson Toll gets closer to Joseph Boyka, it's going to be a nightmare in that country.
Oh, he'll be the minister.
You are behaving like the same very group of people that we have now. You just after you want to be in the fries, photo. Seriously? That's something that the only thing, all of this beautiful, all of the conversation, critical conversation about the country, you are worried tonight how you're going to sleep because your picture did not stay on the screen for 15, 20 minutes? Is that your biggest takeaway this evening, Samson Toll? Can you answer me?
Is that a question? I thought it was one of your monologues. But yeah, Mr. So, I just want to point out the imbalance of your presentation here tonight. That's all. I just
right now. This it doesn't have. It's so tasteless to the viewers, to the listeners. These people are here to listen together, to be able to make decision. It is not about you. It is not about me. I use my own conscience and good judgment as to how this program should be run.
But you have to do it with equal hands, not because you and he on the same platform, you and he on the same agreement. Because two of you are the most conservative here, and for me, the liberal, you try to put me in the bike side and then bring his picture up while he explaining things that are in line with your view, and then you enjoy it and kept it. I was watching, I was keeping the time. But as soon as it came for me to express my liberal view, you just keep going back and forth. That's why I was just pointing out.
The old man is interesting, unbelievable.
I tell you.
Figure, I will make sure From Town, you go to my town. I will make sure you're not even messenger. You will not even care no message to any other town for them to call for town meeting because it will be stuff. My goodness. All right, gentlemen, I want to thank you. But I think I'm making big preparations. Our first prime time program will be aired coming this Sunday. And the first guest, that's why the Honorable Louis Brown, the former Minister of Information, former ambassador, I want to be on the program. The Liberian War today is the primetime news coming right here on LPR and Sky Communication Network and TV in Liberia. You're going to be, and the next guest will be award-winning journalist Kai Jerawale. With this book, it's still on the newsstand. Liberty Hijack is available on Amazon, so make sure you can secure a copy. I'm going to be talking to him as well. And the third person standing by will be Dr. Stephanian Fortit. Going to be here, so we're going to learn the people here on Sunday. I'm excited to see how it plays out, how it goes. My last interview with Louis Brown was in 2000, I believe, four. When was it Ebola? 2004, right? 2004, when I had an interview with him with WHO country representative at the time. Since then,
2004 or 2014?
2014, yeah. You see, Liberal Party, if I live with him, when I'm drowning in the deep sea, he would take the jacket and put it. People say, I don't get it, man, life jacket. So anything I eat, oh, yeah, they probably, oh, you something, oh, unbelievable. Wow. It was a joy. But guys, thank you so much for your time this evening. And to our many viewers and listeners, we want to thank you so much. Please keep your comments and your tweets coming as to how we can enhance. You are at liberty to agree and disagree with us. And I can't even say that because people don't insult on this network. That's not what we do. So even if they can do another poll, well, that's whatever. But people that come here, they are always decent people. They always engage one another, express their political views, differences as well. And you can disagree with what we shall go back and watch this here and look at the comment because sometimes it's difficult to do. The only man who is addicted to comment because he want to see who for him, who not for him, is the liberal. Every little comment somebody make, it goes under his skin. Every little thing, it goes under his skin. I usually go there after program to see where myself fall short in saying stuff and, just.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. But guys, I want to thank you so much. And we're going to be here. Our man, Sisse, the Minnesota politician, so said the Liberal Progressive, and the ANC, and something to about man. He put it behind us as Zalo CDC professor. He left. Our Kenya man call him Mr. Nairobi. Mr. Nairobi will be coming back very soon. I don't know why you always involve in stereotype and all kinds of stuff. Man, you need to stop that behavior there. I see why they can put you in a garage. Gentlemen, thank you so much and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you, Mr. So. Good night.
All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. What are you? I'm moving you putting that. Okay, guys. We want to thank you so much, everybody, for your evenings. Augustine said, man, thank you for your comments. Talk back, Queen. I love that. Stanley to Washington, and all of you great people for your time. Sarah Woolut, our man Sana there from UK. Thank you so much for being always awake this early morning hour. Is all because of your country, and that's what we intend to do right here. Join us here again in the coming days for more program, but don't forget Sunday, a new brand program, the Liberian War Today. We'll be looking at a variety of issues affecting our country, from social, economic, infrastructure, health, and all. We're going to include all sectors of our country, making sure everyone's voice is heard in that country. And so we're going to be having that sort of conversation. It will be aired live on Sky FM and Sky TV in Liberia. I am excited for that because we want to have a direct communications contact with the folks in Liberia with the hope of them making to be able to make informed decision. Until then, thank you so much. Our total respect to you for your commitment, for your time, your energy, for always being here. Without you, we can't do it. We do appreciate. Share our videos, subscribe to our Facebook, our YouTube, and our Twitter handles, and you can get us live on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. By the way, if you want to be a contributor, you want to be an analyst on this program, whether from CDC, from Liberty Party, Unity Party, whatever, we are written all of these political parties to send their representation. Some have responded, some have not. But you as an individual, you want to be a sympathizer, you want to be here, just put out a text scheme and join us as well. Until then, have a pleasant evening. And thank you for sharing your Sunday with us. Bye-bye.
Oh yes,